All right, well, good morning and happy Saturday, Central Georgia. It's Meteorologist Ansley Parker, and you know the drill. If you've been with me before at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning, we are going to dive into a little more detail on the forecast. Specifically, this is the last weekend of the Georgia National Fair, and if you are somebody who pays attention to the weather and you've been watching for the last couple of days, you know that there's been a little bit of uncertainty about the rain chances for Saturday and for Sunday due to the low pressure system off the coast. So I'm going to provide a little more clarity to that now that we're a bit closer to the actual days that we're talking about. There's a lot more certainty in the forecast, so I'm going to break all of that down for you in a little more detail here. So we are going to get started by talking about the sky cams across the area, and I'll talk specifically about the fair one. And you know what, man, I haven't even seen it yet in the last couple of minutes. Now I'm noticing that it's clear blue skies across all the sky cams. So what I'm going to do is take this full screen and we will jump into talking about this in a little more detail. So there is the view across all the sky cams. Again, it's just a great start to Saturday. It's a lot better than yesterday. We had a lot of cloud cover to start the day yesterday, and we were kind of in on and off cloud cover all day long. But now it's just vibrant blue skies. It's looking great out there. And there's even people already making their way out for the second to last day of the fair. For funsies, let's look at funsies. That's a silly word that I just said. Let's look at the fair a little bit closer. And you can just see people enjoying the sunshine and blue skies. I was not trying to zoom in that far, goodness. I was actually trying to go to the slide because I thought I saw some kids going down the slide, and I know that's a lot of fun. So yeah, this is just a great day to enjoy the fair. Actually shaping up to be a bit better than the models were kind of trending towards over the last couple of days. It looked like it was going to be a bit iffy for the day today, and I'm certainly encouraged by the amount of sunshine that we have out there. You can see though, the funnel cake signs are blowing around, flapping around a lot in the breeze. So there is a really strong breeze out there. We had this yesterday as well, and we'll have this through the day today also, but it's one of the things that's actually keeping the numbers a little bit cooler this morning. So across the southeast, across the state, temperatures have not moved much from the morning time. We are in one of the warmer spots actually, but it's really mid 60s to upper 60s across the whole area here, and then in our region a little bit warmer. We have a few mid 60s hanging on in the northern counties, but we are mainly in the upper 60s now, and it won't be long before we find 70 degrees. But again, that feels really comfortable, especially because of the breeze that we have out there. This is a strong, gusty breeze. From time to time, it can get up to about 20 miles per hour, even over 20, sometimes 25. You can see Macon there has a wind gust up to 23. Vidalia has one at 25. So gusty winds out there, you'll notice that, but that's helping filter in comfortable, dry, fall-like air. So that is actually helping, even though it may be a bit much at times, but that's keeping the fall-like feel in place in the area today. So you can see a slight difference in the air that's over towards East Georgia versus the air that's over in Northwest Georgia. There is a little more moisture in this region due to the coastal low that we were talking about a few minutes ago. And you can actually see that when we look to the satellite and radar. This is where showers are actually happening, where we have a little bit more cloud cover, and overall where this coastal low that I keep talking about is having a bit more influence on the state of Georgia. So the closer you are to the east, the better chances you're going to have at seeing rain through the weekend this weekend. I think that's going to be the major trend. Now, right now, we really only have one shower that has fizzled out in Johnson County, and they're kind of the only area that's really seen rain this morning, maybe some of that into parts of Lawrence or Washington County. But overall, rain chances have been generally lower today than yesterday. We did have a good bit of showers across the area yesterday. It's all tied to, though, that coastal low that I was talking about. So see how just some of those showers are pushing off of this mass of showers that's over in South Carolina and trying to creep their way into central Georgia. So this low is forecasted to move to the northeast over the next couple of days. But before it does that, notice how it is just sitting in the exact same spot. I mean, these showers that are over South Carolina and parts of North Carolina are hardly moving at all. So this is kind of going to sit stationary at least through the weekend for us. And again, the closer you are to this system here, the better the rain chances are going to be through the next couple of days. With that being said, Saturday overall is going to be a very, very dry day. I think that the rain chances will be extremely low through the day today. It's really Sunday that I'm kind of talking about these slightly increased rain chances. And then beyond Sunday, this thing will move away from us and we will be back to dry weather. So without me just talking about it, let's kind of show you what the Future View is thinking now. So like I said, some of these teeny tiny little sprinkles may try to creep their way towards our eastern counties through the day today, but overall, I mean, this is already at 10 p.m. I didn't even have to pause any time before this. There's really not going to be a great rain chance for the day today. It should be a good opportunity to get outside. This is a great second to last day of the fair. If you're contemplating between Saturday and Sunday to go out to the fair, Saturday all the way. It's going to be a really nice day. There's sunshine, a breeze, the temperatures are low, and overall the rain chances are just going to be really low through the day Saturday. I know we have other things going on. There's an event going on in Carolyn Creighton Park, and there's a lot of other things going on. We have college football. So any of the things that you're looking to do outdoors this weekend are going to be the best to do today. It's really as we start talking about Sunday that things change just a little bit. So that coastal low starts to push some of its showers into South Carolina. But again, we're close enough where it's going to end up having some slight impacts to our area. So these are really light showers. We're not in all of this dark red and the yellows that you see here, but we could potentially have a few light showers in our eastern counties. For Sunday, I actually think it's going to be the tale of two stories. I think we're going to have a little bit of a dividing line with I-75 here. If you're west of I-75, I think you're going to have a mostly sunny, very dry day. If you're east of 75, really excluding counties such as Jasper, Jones, Twiggs, Bleckley, Pulaski, Wilcox, maybe more east of that line. It could be a little bit of a gloomy, sometimes rainy, just overall a bit more of a dreary day, because you can see these showers kind of only take over the eastern counties, and all this cloud cover will be in the eastern counties as well. In the western counties, it's going to be a little bit clearer because they're just not quite as close to this low as our eastern counties are. So this is through the day Sunday. Again, that starts as early as the morning time on Sunday, and then we could see showers kind of all the way throughout the day into the afternoon, and then things will die down as we head into the evening on Sunday. So Sunday's going to be a bit more touch and go. Will all of that rain reach the fairgrounds? That is the question. They're kind of on the dividing line here, to the point where I think we could see maybe a brief sprinkle, but do I think it's going to be a washout at the fairgrounds? No. I think you'll still have the chance to get out there, but if you're heading to the fair, it's my best advice to maybe just bring an umbrella or a rain jacket with you, just in case there ends up being maybe a brief shower in the area. But again, they're kind of on the dividing line where it could happen, it could maybe not really reach quite as far east or west as Houston County. Most of it's really going to be concentrated in counties like Montgomery, Treutlen, Johnson, Washington, and Hancock. I think those counties are really going to be the ones dealing with rain. It's more going to be this kind of spotty sprinkle situation if you are in the other counties that are east of 75. So do I think you can go to the fair on Sunday? Absolutely. I think you should just prepare for rain, and if you don't see any, that's best case scenario. And it's also kind of a likely scenario as well. It just may be the case of a sprinkle or two if you head out through the morning or through the afternoon. Late night Sunday, I think we'll be good to go. By the time we hit the evening, I think most of this rain will be moving out and dying down, and then we head into a work week that is actually going to be completely dry. So I know the fair wraps up this weekend, and that's really more what people are wondering about, but by the time we get to Sunday evening, rain chances go basically to zero for the rest of the upcoming work week. You can see all the way through Monday, no chance of rain, and all the way through Tuesday. Flipping it to the long range, I didn't even add a single pause point here. Through the entire week, I'm not picking up on any sort of major rainmaker or really any reason to add a rain chance on the 7-day forecast. So that is, it's good. We like to have clear weather, but we definitely could use some rain in our area. And over the last couple days, we haven't really tacked on a crazy amount of rain. Now, we have had a couple of showers yesterday, mainly a lot of showers kind of trained over the same area. So because of that, we were able to, in the heavier spots, pick up close to about 2 inches. Now, that's great. We really, really need all that we can get, but it was concentrated mainly to our southern half. Our northern half didn't really quite get in on the action yesterday. The good news with that is they're actually the spots that have been drier. So overall, this was a helpful, but we still need more than what we have here. We're well below average for this time of year in terms of rainfall, and we're heading into, well, actually, we're already well into one of the driest months of the year, which is October. We came in well below average for rainfall in the month of September. I believe we had less than half an inch of rain through the entire month, and then we haven't really found a crazy amount of rain this month either. So these are rainfall estimates from the radar reflectivity values. It doesn't necessarily mean we got exactly 2 inches of rain in some of these spots, but it's kind of a guesstimate. So potentially we could have gotten at least 2 inches of rain in some of the heavier spots, which would be really, really good news. With the rain that we're expecting to see Sunday, I think it's going to be kind of a similar situation to yesterday, where it's mainly a light drizzle, maybe a light shower from time to time. But other than that, I don't really think we're going to get crazy totals from what we see on Sunday. In fact, if you do happen to catch a shower on Sunday, I think you'll still be able to be outside during it. I don't think it's going to be one like we saw at the fairgrounds a few weeks ago, where Ben and Lori were holding the tent down and the rain was really, really heavy. I don't think it's really going to be a situation like that. Now, again, I touched on the drought monitor a moment ago. We really need the rainfall. Mainly down in our southern half. So actually where we did receive rainfall yesterday, we are in moderate drought conditions, but it kind of creeps into parts of our western counties as well. Upson, Taylor counties, they're starting to find their way into moderate drought conditions. Even parts of Upson County could be considered in severe drought conditions. Everywhere else is still abnormally dry. So we need rainfall. In fact, I actually think what we're getting now is kind of a good thing, where it's slowly adding on to a good number of totals, because if we get a ton of rain in a really short amount of time, that actually can lead to some potential flash flooding because of how dry our ground is. So this actually ends up being kind of a good thing if we can get something over the next 2 days, but like you saw, rain chances are very slim for the next few days, and then as we head into the upcoming work week, we really don't have rain chances at all. So that means that we turn our attention to high temperatures. Through the weekend, we will still feel like fall because we're still going to have the breeze. Sunday will stay a little bit cooler because of some of the cloud cover that we'll bring back into the forecast and the rain chances. Saturday, so today, is actually going to be a little bit cooler because of the breeze. We're filtering in northerly air that's a little bit cooler. So today's going to be more of a true fall-like feel. Tomorrow will be fall-like with clouds and a little bit of rain in a couple of spots. By Monday, when we lose the rain chances, we also change what's going on in the upper atmosphere. So we're not really getting cool fall air into our area anymore. We're under a high pressure system. It's a little bit of a warmer air mass, and highs are going to work their way back into the 80s. So Monday through the rest of the foreseeable work week, we are going to be back in the 80s in terms of high temperatures. Now, the good thing is, the silver lining, I know that these numbers are not particularly everybody's favorite, but if you're not a big fan of high temperatures in the 80s, I think you'll still really like the mornings that we're going to have through the upcoming week. So low temperatures each night are still going to drop down into the 50s. I think each night will be somewhere in the low to mid 50s, so that will still be very fall-like. You'll have those crisp fall mornings, and those don't look like they leave through the entire 7-day forecast. So it's going to be one of those things where you probably will need to wear maybe a sweatshirt or a light jacket when you leave for work in the morning, but it's got to be something that you can kind of layer and take off, because by the afternoon you may be sweating a little bit. We're in kind of a 30-degree temperature spread, which is pretty big, but that's kind of how things go in Georgia. If you're a Georgia native, we are in this transition period, and that's kind of just how things feel for a little bit. I feel like October always kind of has these crazy temperature spreads where you're cold in the morning and then you're sweating by the afternoons. I think that's what next week is going to be like, but it should still be a good chance to get outside, enjoy the cooler mornings, or if you're a warm weather person, enjoy the warmer afternoons because there's really no rain chances in sight through the next week. I've done 20% for today. Honestly, it was just because of the uncertainty between the models. I probably would have bumped it down to 10 had I had the model certainty that I have now. It really doesn't look like we're going to have much of a rain chance for this afternoon, so we'll call it a mainly dry Saturday. Eastern counties, be on the lookout for maybe a sprinkle or a light shower, but other than that, it should be pretty dry. Sunday, 30, I think, is kind of covering the bases for eastern counties, having a bit of a dreary, gloomy wash kind of day, and the western counties seeing a bit of the opposite through the forecast. So overall, you know, it's just going to be 2 days of kind of figuring out what this low pressure system wants to do, and then as we head into the upcoming week, it starts to look a lot better, and we don't really have to worry about rain for the foreseeable future. Again, we really need it, so if we could kind of get a change here where we have one of those fronts coming through that may bring a little more moisture, that would be great. But for now, it is what it is. We'll take the sunshine while we have it, and hopefully you're able to get outdoors today and enjoy the weather that we have. So fair weather today, perfect. Enjoy the last weekend of the fair tomorrow. I still think you should try to get out if that was your plan. I don't think it's going to be a wash of a day, so you should still be able to get outside and take part in the activities. If things change later tonight, there's still been some fluctuation in that low, but overall, this is kind of the most promising scenario to me. But if things change, you'll hear about it from us first. Just kind of make sure to check back in with the forecast if you do have outdoor plans for Sunday about if there is any changes on the way. Right now, this is, again, the most promising scenario. This is kind of what I think is going to play out, but it's been a bit back and forth over the last few days, so just to be safe, if you do have major plans for Sunday, I would just check back in later tonight with David Guerrero to kind of see what the situation is, but fingers crossed that it stays this way. So thank you so much for joining me. We will be back again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. instead of 11 a.m. for another look at the forecast. I'll kind of touch base with how rain chances are looking for the rest of the day and where we stand at the moment. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. I'll leave you with the 7-day forecast. And again, I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning.